Welcome to Ancient Deities Dossier. Today we're stepping into the ancient world of Mesopotamia to uncover the enthralling story of Ishtar, the Queen of Heaven, goddess of love, war, and fertility. Ishtar's tale is one of divine beauty, power, and complexity. Her myths are filled with passion, destruction, and rebirth, and her influence shaped the beliefs of civilizations for centuries. This isn't just mythology, it's history, alive with meaning. So, prepare yourselves for a journey through the gates of Babylon and into the heart of one of the most extraordinary deities of all time. Long before Ishtar's name echoed across Babylon, she was known as Inanna among the Sumerians. As civilizations evolved and cultures intertwined, the goddess transformed into Ishtar, the Akkadian goddess who embodied love, war, and fertility. Her name spread like fire, and she became known as the Queen of Heaven, a title that underscored her immense power. Yet she wasn't limited to Mesopotamia. Variations of Ishtar appeared in other regions as Astarte, Ashtoreth, and even inspired figures like Aphrodite and Venus in later traditions. Ishtar was more than a goddess. She was a force of nature, transcending time and borders. Ishtar's dual nature made her one of the most complex deities in history. She ruled over love and fertility, bringing life and passion into the world. Yet she also held dominion over war, embodying chaos and destruction. Her symbols reflected this balance. The eight-pointed star symbolized Venus, while the lion roared of her ferocity. To her worshippers, Ishtar was both a nurturing mother and a fearsome warrior, a divine figure who could give as easily as she could take away. One of the most famous myths about Ishtar tells of her descent into the underworld. The story begins with her decision to visit her sister Ereshkigal, the goddess of death. As Ishtar approached the gates of the underworld, she demanded entry, but the gates would not open freely. At each of the 7 gates, Ishtar was forced to shed a piece of her power, her crown, her jewels, her garments, until she stood naked before her sister. Trapped in the realm of the dead, her absence caused all life on earth to wither. It was only through the intervention of the gods that Ishtar was resurrected, but not without a price. Her lover Dumuzi was chosen as her replacement, a sacrifice that brought balance and marked the cycles of life and death. Ishtar's love was as intoxicating as it was dangerous. Her lovers often met tragic ends, none more famous than Dumuzi. In life, Dumuzi was her beloved, but his selection as her replacement in the underworld turned their love into sorrow. This myth echoed in the natural world, explaining the changing seasons. Ishtar's passion burned brightly, but it was never without consequence, making her both revered and feared. In the epic tale of Gilgamesh, Ishtar's temper and pride come to the forefront. She approached Gilgamesh with a marriage proposal, promising him wealth, power, and immortality. But the hero king rejected her, listing the fates of her previous lovers and refusing to risk her wrath. Enraged, Ishtar summoned the Bull of Heaven to punish him. Although Gilgamesh and his companion Enkidu triumphed over the bull, the gods were not pleased, and Enkidu paid the ultimate price for their defiance. Ishtar's presence on the battlefield was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. In war, she represented chaos, destruction, and an unyielding will to conquer. Ancient kings prayed to her for victory, knowing her favor could turn the tide of battle. Yet, like her love, her protection came with a price. Loyalty and devotion were demanded, and betrayal was met with devastating consequences. Ishtar's temples were grand testaments to her divine power. The Iana in Uruk stood as her most famous sanctuary, a place where worshippers sought her blessings for fertility, love, and protection. These temples often rose as ziggurats, their towering structures symbolizing a bridge between earth and the heavens. To the faithful, these sites were the heart of her presence on earth. One of the more controversial aspects of Ishtar's worship was sacred prostitution. Priestesses performed rituals believed to honor Ishtar's role as a fertility goddess, connecting the divine and the mortal through sacred acts. While misunderstood and criticized in later eras, these rituals reflected the deep connection between spirituality and physicality in Mesopotamian culture. No discussion of Ishtar is complete without mentioning the breathtaking Ishtar Gate in Babylon. Built by King Nebuchadnezzar II, this gate was a marvel of ancient architecture, adorned with lions and rosettes, symbols of Ishtar's power. It was not merely a gateway. It was a declaration of her divine authority, standing as one of the most iconic structures of the ancient world. As the planet Venus, Ishtar shone as both the morning star and the evening star. This celestial connection symbolized her duality, bringing light and hope yet capable of descending into darkness and chaos. To her followers, Venus was not just a planet. It was a beacon of Ishtar's presence in the heavens. Ishtar's legacy spread far beyond Mesopotamia. As Astarte, she influenced Canaanite beliefs. Her characteristics inspired Aphrodite in Greece and Venus in Rome, adapting her essence to new cultures while retaining her core as a goddess of love, war, and fertility. Ishtar appears indirectly in the Hebrew Bible, often under the name Ashtoreth, a deity whose worship was criticized by monotheistic traditions. This conflict between Ishtar's legacy and emerging religious ideologies highlights the tension between polytheistic and monotheistic worldviews. From ancient carvings to modern novels, Ishtar's image has endured. She is often depicted as a beautiful woman adorned with jewels, holding symbols of her power. Her presence in literature reflects her timeless appeal, continuing to captivate imaginations. Ancient hymns celebrated Ishtar's majesty. Lines praising her beauty, power, and divine role filled temples with reverence. To her worshippers, these hymns were not mere songs, they were declarations of her glory. Ishtar's festivals were joyous occasions marked by rituals of renewal and fertility. These celebrations brought communities together, reaffirming their connection to the goddess who governed the cycles of life. Ishtar's duality is her most defining trait. She could nurture and destroy, love and wage war, bring life and take it away. This balance made her relatable yet unknowable, a goddess who mirrored the complexities of the human experience. Ishtar's myths teach us about the cycles of life and death, the power of passion, and the consequences of desire. Her stories remain relevant because they reflect universal truths about humanity and the world. Ishtar remains a symbol of feminine power and divine complexity. She represents the strength to love fiercely and fight valiantly, a timeless reminder of the divine within us all. Ishtar's story is as vast and complex as the Mesopotamian empires that worshipped her. From the depths of the underworld to the heights of Venus, she continues to captivate us with her power, passion, and paradox. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of ancient mythology. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ancient Deities Dossier. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok for more divine content, and if you can, support us on Patreon. Your support helps us continue exploring these incredible myths. The link is in the description below. Until next time, may the gods smile upon you. This is Ancient Deities Dossier, bidding you farewell until the next one. And as always, seekers of the arcane, stay curious, stay mythical.